So people come and they want to go to Canada, or they're already in Canada, and they say, okay, Khushi, in 6 months, can I clear B2? And I say, of course, people will sell you the courses like this, that in 6 months you can clear B2 and you can have the Canadian residency and everything.
Yes.
But practically speaking, it's very much impossible. You've learned English or Hindi all your life, and you still don't know maybe millions of words in your language. When you pick up a Hindi newspaper, you might know everything that's written on the newspaper. But you're born here. You've been speaking this language since the time you were born.
Yes.
So it goes for any language, especially when you're learning a foreign language.
Moving to the next part of the conversation now, like that will be like challenges and misconceptions in the language learning, right? So like many learners, expect fluency in a particular language very quickly, I feel. They feel that, okay, in the next 6 months, in the next 8 months, I can be fluent in the language. So what is your advice to help them, navigate the reality of that learning curve?
Yeah, very true. This is something that I have been observing recently. So people come and they want to go to Canada, or they're already in Canada, and they say, okay, Khushi, in 6 months, can I clear B2? And I say, of course, people will sell you the courses like this, that in 6 months you can clear B2 and you can have the Canadian residency and everything.
Yes.
But practically speaking, it's very much impossible. You've learned English or Hindi all your life, and you still don't know maybe millions of words in your language. When you pick up a Hindi newspaper, you might know everything that's written on the newspaper. But you're born here. You've been speaking this language since the time you were born.
Yes.
So it goes for any language, especially when you're learning a foreign language. So fluency comes with, I'm not saying it's absolutely impossible, but it's almost impossible. It is possible if you spend, I don't know, if you go to the country, or if you just dive deep down into the language 24 hours, which is impossible. You just cannot do that. Your brain has a limit. And so regarding fluency, I think the most important thing is to be in touch with the language, like we discussed before, every day. It's like going to the gym. You miss one day, you miss the second day, the third day. You might have things stored in your brain, but they need regular exercise.
Yes.
To be in touch with the language. You might have the verbs stored in your brain deep down. Okay, we did this a week before. But if you don't use it every day, if you don't hear it every day, then it's not going to come up. Then it's a dead memory in your brain. So fluency, yes, but I think definitely it takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of consistency on your part to learn a language. And some misconceptions are about fluency, and some people also think, oh, I'm too late, I'm too old to learn a language, or it's too late now, I am 30, I am 40. But I have seen people in their 60s starting a language. And now the goal, maybe they don't have the same goal as you of reaching Canada or, for corporate purposes. But I don't think there's any limit. It's just you can start and then you see. For me, I never thought I will be into languages. Never ever. I actually didn't know what I was going to be. It was just very random that I got into French. But eventually I got interested and everything. And now this is something that I don't feel I'm working, because it's communication basically.
Yeah. Now, like one more thing I want to know, how important is grammar perfection in the real world communication?
Again, it's a very common problem I saw when I was a student in Alliance, So I was a chill student, which meant that I was in the class, I was present in the class, but I was not very highly focused on what's happening in the grammar or what's given for homework. I used to do the homework in the metro. I very clearly remember, just before entering the class. But the teacher, of course, the teacher knows when you've done the homework in the metro and when you've done the homework at home. So the teacher used to identify that, Khushi, you've done it very rapidly and quickly. And I said, yeah, I'm sorry. Well, but Nevertheless, I was into I was open to speaking. I
Yeah.
didn't mind if I made mistakes, but I was open to speaking in the class. I was open to hearing, and I saw my fellow classmates, or you can say the other students. I think it also depends on everyone's approach. So I saw people who were like stuck, for example, a lot between passé composé and imparfait.
Hmm.
What is the difference between passé composé and imparfait? Now,
Yeah.
this, if you ask a native person, nobody has a strict response.
Yes.
There are tons of explanations on Google,
Hmm.
and in the end of every explanation, there's one line. It depends on the context,
Yeah.
which is a very easy line. It depends on the context. Of course, it depends on the context. Now, if you get stuck in this way that I'm not understanding this, then it's very difficult to move forward.
Hmm.
Then you lose the self confidence. You'll say, "Oh, I'm saying it wrong. I'm not saying it correctly. Am I doing it right?"
Hmm.
So grammar is important, but the
Yeah.
most important part in language is to be understood. Hmm?
Hmm.
To understand and to be understood.
Correct.
With Spanish, I got it because when I learned Spanish, I did not know how to use the past tense because I never went to the class in the initial months. So I
Right.
used to tell the stories of the past in the present tense, and then people used to tell, "Oh, you're talking about the past." Yes, yes, I'm talking about the past. But
Hmm.
then I moved. Then I took formal classes after 1 year, and then now I'm obviously much more clear about tenses. But I think the very grammar is important, but it's not everything. If you
Hmm.
get stuck on it, then your language journey will stop.
Got it. So a lot of professionals, a lot of people from corporate who are learning French. A lot of I have seen a lot of professionals also doing the same thing. They get stuck. So do you think
Hmm.
grammar perfection is actually gonna be used in their professional, like in their career or somewhere?
I think in exams like TEF and TCF, maybe yes, because you have objective questions.
Yeah.
But if you talk about daily life,
But I think TEF and TCF, they're mainly for immigration. There is nothing
yeah,
to do with the professional or career perspectives.
yeah, yeah. But also, if you see, for example, a lot of people that are already working, I see people who are a CA or somebody who's an
Yeah.
engineer, or they're in the corporate line
Hmm.
in Canada. But now living in Canada, they want the immigrant, they want the card, the green card in
Yeah.
Canada. So if you see today, well, it's a very, very big thing in India now that everybody wants to, especially in a specific area in India, everybody wants to go to Canada for TEF and TCF.
Yeah.
Mm. And for TEF and TCF, they've made it very, very technical. It's like a maths class.
Hmm.
Mm. It's not language anymore. It's like, okay, you do this verb in the first class, this verb in the second class.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want, but that's not how you learn a language. Because
Correct.
I think also learning a language, you need to maybe like the language a bit.
Hmm.
You need
Very
to
true.
connect with the language.
Spend more time with the language, I feel.
Yeah.
Uh, And now, I'm sure, like as you have multiple language expertise, so and there are a lot of people, they are looking out for some most reliable and authentic platforms online,
Mhm.
I would say,
Mhm.
or maybe
Mhm.
offline also. Maybe if there is some book or something that is really would you would like to recommend to people. So can you share some of the most reliable and authentic resources if
Mhm.
somebody is willing to learn Spanish or French, maybe?
Yeah. So for in terms of books, we've already talked about Cosmopolite
Yeah,
and also I remember La Saison. So Saison is something that
Saison.
I did
Yes.
when I started my journey. It was with Saison. And in terms of online, I think there are millions of resources, but some that are used very often. For example, for beginners in French, it's for listening, it's Coffee Break on YouTube.
Okay. Coffee break.
So they have coffee break languages. So they have normal, simple situations like what's your age, what's your
Mm-hmm.
name, just to
Mm-hmm.
be familiar with the accent, because in the beginning it's very
Yeah,
difficult to get through the accent.
correct.
Then, if you go to A2, B1, you have TV Cinq Monde
Yeah.
for French, and also you have Radio Française. So you have the
Have you
French
fancy?
radio for your
Mm.
audios, because I think grammar every trainer can do, and because it's mostly you have the rules, you follow the rules, you put the
Yeah.
grammar.
Mhm.
It's mostly for listening and speaking that you need extra resources.
Yes.
So for listening, you have these resources: TV5 Monde and Radio Française, and also Coffee Break and Easy
Yeah.
French also on YouTube. Easy French is like they go
Yes.
on the streets and they ask people, so you get a lot of
Mhm.
native knowledge.
Yes. Absolutely.
And for Spanish also, you have Easy Spanish on YouTube.
Okay.
And one thing that I use more is Dele, because in French we have the DELF, for example,
Yes.
and in Spanish it's Dele, DELE. So
Okay.
there's a online site which is called Dele Aura, AHORA. So they have a lot of resources from A1 till C2.
Mm.
So that's
Okay.
also very, very reliable. When I prepared for my C1 in Spanish, I did took a lot of help from.
Amazing. Amazing. Got it. People can find most of the resources, useful resources on these
Yeah,
platforms.
yeah.
Understood. Understood. Maybe,
But
once you
yeah.
get into international relations, we are gonna have a podcast again, maybe for the same, for dedicatedly for that part, maybe, so that people
Perfect.
who will be,
Hopefully, I get somewhere. Let's see. We have the results next month.
so results for what part mainly?
It's the master's application. So I've applied for
Ah,
master's. Yeah. So,
so that will
uh,
be full time, regular.
yeah. I will move to France for that if that happens.
Okay. So from which university you have applied?
It's not one specific university. It's so you have the opportunity for 7 universities. I've applied for different ones. I've applied for Strasbourg, Bordeaux, and Brest, and different universities. And let's see, when do I get a response.
Right. So you will be doing this masters from France.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll
Right.
move
Right.
out. Yeah.
So and just asking out of curiosity, how much of budgeting we can expect for that? Like, what is
Yeah.
overall?
Yeah. So there are still, so, education in French was very, very affordable till 2018. I would say
Hmm.
much more affordable than India. I don't know if you have done it from a public university. Your bachelor's was from?
From lovely professional university, private
Okay.
university.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's not it's a bit on the expensive side if you see the private universities in India. I don't know about
Actually,
Lovely
I got actually a
scholarship.
scholarship of
Oh,
50%.
great. Oh,
So
great. Great.
usually it would cost somebody 12 lakhs, but it costed me 6 lakhs.
Oh yes, that's great. Yeah. So scholarships. Yeah, scholarships is a way, but without scholarships, when people don't have scholarships, it's tough. But in France, so till 2018, it was the same price for French nationals and for Indian nationals or for whatever in the world. You don't Your nationality didn't matter, which was 25,000 INR for 1 year.
Hmm.
Which is next to nothing if you see in India.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but now they have increased the prices, but some universities have stayed with the old prices. So in some universities it's still 25 to 35K INR.
Okay.
But in some universities it has become 3 to 4 lakhs INR, which is
Per
still
year.
affordable. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And for
Yeah.
masters, I'm sure it will be for 2 years, right?
Yeah. For 2 years. Yeah.
So for 2 years, we can expect maybe 10 lakh, maybe.
Yeah. If you get into one of these universities that have changed the rules, but there are also that haven't changed, and then you have scholarships also. And when you're working, you also have the benefit so when you're studying, you also can work at the same time in France on your visa. So definitely it changes a lot if you work there, because then the currency difference makes a difference. That's why I would not continue my job if I go there from here, because it
Yeah.
wouldn't help me much. Then I would look for a job there itself that would help me
Correct.
with my
With the
stay.
expenses and
Yeah.
everything. I got it.
Yeah.
I got the idea. So maybe I'll plan out something, in case things work out that way. All right. Thank you so much, Khushi. So
Okay.
thank you so much for your time, and stay in touch. See you in the next